Hare Krishna, I'll start with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Gnanajana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanada Swamiti Namani. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshundravadi Parshate Deshtarni. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Seveda Dhadra Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktavranda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. So we are in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This chapter is titled Karma Yoga. Right? Karma means action or work. Yoga means a path, a process to connect to the God. So this chapter starts with an inquiry from Arjuna. So what should I do, Krishna? Tell me, should I renounce or should I work? So he heard in the second chapter, Krishna said, you work like a karma yogi with proper consciousness. Then you'll come to the stage of a self-realized soul. Arjuna thought, okay, if my goal is to get self-realization, so why not I work on it? Why should I do my job? Fight in this battlefield? Why not I go into the forest and meditate and attain self-realization? And then Krishna says, no, that path is not for you. Okay? So that path is for someone who has purification of mind. So that is a level step 2, right? One has to work like karma yogi. Then step 1 and step 2 is then he can meditate and works towards self-realization. So if one directly jumps to directly work on self-realization without proper purification of mind, going to the forest, renouncing everything, going to the forest and meditating. So such a person, Krishna calls a pretender. A pretender who goes to the forest, tries to meditate, control his mind senses, but his mind still dwells on the sense enjoyments, like enjoying these things. So Krishna prohibits it. Krishna says, no, don't do that. Okay. And Krishna further talks about, like, in this world, everyone has to work, right? Then he talks about what is the right way to work, right? So yajna ardat karmana yatra lokayam karma bandhanat. One has to work with proper consciousness for the pleasure of the Lord, as a service to the Lord. Anything we do, any work we do, one has to work for the pleasure of the Lord, as a service to the Lord, offer the results to the Lord, success or failure. So that way one can remain detached. He can still be called as a renunciate. Even possessing everything, all the wealth, if one has this consciousness that this wealth does not belong to me, is still a renunciate. Right? If a person thinks like everything belongs to me, my enjoyment, right? So he's not a renunciate, he's a karmi only. He's not attained the purification of mind. And Krishna further goes and talks about how he created this system, whole system of life in this universe. He created the primary elements, earth, water, fire, air, either are the primary elements, and the secondary elements are created by Lord Brahma, who further does a secondary creation. So when he created living entities, human beings on this earth planet, right? And he also put few people on the celestial planet, that is a heavenly planet. And the people on the earth planet need something like food, resources, air to breathe, food to eat, food grains, all the necessities has to be taken care of. So Krishna says he introduced a system called yajna, a fire sacrifice. The fire sacrifice system that was there in the previous yugas, like in the time of Krishna. So that is may not be applicable now. But that is what Krishna is saying. He introduced a system called fire sacrifice. So one has to perform the fire sacrifice, please the demigods. When the demigods are pleased, they shower the rain, right? By the rains, we get grains from the earth and we eat the grains. So when we take from the, when we take the natural resources, right? So we are also indebted to pay it back, right? So if we don't do that, we are a thief. Krishna says we are a thief. And if we eat all the grains or whatever it is for our own enjoyment, and Krishna says you are eating only sin. So he's calling thief and sinful people. So then what should I do? Then Krishna says you offer it. So when you're taking, it's like a return gift. When you're taking, you return it back. So that way there will be a harmony between demigods and the people on this earth planet. Well, now there are 30 crore or 330 million demigods. We can't please or offer to all those demigods. Is it a simple process? The simple process is to please the root of all these demigods, the root of creation, root of all these demigods is Lord Vishnu. When the Supreme Lord Krishna is pleased, everyone is pleased, everything is pleased. So when we offer, whatever we take from the nature, we have to offer it to Krishna. Right? When the food is offered to Krishna or the Supreme Lord, the food is sanctified. The sin within that food is removed. So that way one can consume the food and he's not a thief, he's not eating sin. Sin-free life. Right? And Krishna further goes, I mean, just want to add one more point, like anything we eat, right, in the Vaishnava tradition, the followers of Lord Vishnu, so they, before they eat anything, they offer to the Lord, right, and accept as prasada, right? So the Lord has to be pleased first. If not, it's a karma food, right? The food has karma and that will create sin. So that is the reason the food need to be offered to the Lord. So that is 3 sections. And the 4th section, Krishna talks about, he goes back. He goes back, again starts. He says, okay, Arjuna, even if you think you're qualified for self-realization, you still have to work. Why? To set an example. To set an example to normal class of people. And Krishna gives an example, Janaka, a king who lived a life like that. He was at the self-realized platform, right? And he doesn't need to take care of all the work, right? There is no obligation for him to do various yajna dana tapa, like charity, like donating some money in charity or doing some austerities. He doesn't need to do that, but he still did that. Okay, to set an example for common people. So even this is a message to Arjuna that even you are at the stage of self-realized soul, you still have to work, okay, to set an example. So basically, Krishna is persuading Arjuna to do his duty, where Arjuna wants to run away from his duty. And Krishna further says, he also works. The God also works. God also works. Okay? So if we want to persuade a child to do anything, so we all say, I also do, right? So same thing. So Krishna is saying, he also works. What work he do? What work he do? He's a maintainer. He's a creator, maintainer of the whole universe. He makes sure entire cosmos function. He makes sure, we get all the necessities to survive and sustain. Earth is nicely moving, right? So, there is some energy is making sure things are working perfectly. There is a sunrise, sunset, everything is happening very nicely. It's because of the presence of the Lord who is making sure things function correctly. And God also resides as Paramatma, super soul in the heart of every living entity, from whom we get, he sanctions our work. Anything we do, anything we desire, he makes sure our desire is sanctioned and fulfilled. Right? So we'll get to that part in 13th chapter. We'll go in detail. But anyway, so Krishna says he also works. He's not exempt from working. Right? He also works to make sure everything is functioning. Right? And Krishna further says, if you are a self-realized soul, Arjuna, if you have knowledge about Bhagavad Gita, or if you have knowledge about spirituality, if someone is not following, right, or he's a beginner level, if someone is at the beginner level, right, he is struggling, then Arjuna, Krishna is saying, don't disturb them, let them do. They will slowly progress. They'll slowly progress. It takes time, but they'll slowly progress. So now today in the verses today, we'll see Krishna is going to say, what is the result of working according to the instructions of the Supreme Lord? A person who follows the instructions and a person who doesn't follow the instructions, what will happen? Right? So we'll go into this verses. I'll read this. The person in knowledge, text 28. One who is in knowledge of absolute truth, O mighty armed, does not engage himself in the sense and sense gratification, knowing well the difference between work in devotion and work for fruitive results. Karma Kanda versus Karma Yoga. Basically, Krishna is giving the difference. And text 29, bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engages themselves in material activities and becomes attached. I read again, bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engages themselves in material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior due to the performance lack of knowledge. So here Krishna is talking about the person who is at the highest stage, right? A self-realized soul. So he knows the difference between what is working like a karma yogi and what is karma kanda. Right? And he knows very well that we are bewildered by these three modes, like mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Right? So how are we bewildered? By mode of goodness, the consciousness of a person is a mode of goodness, is clarity in mind, is cool person. Mode of passion is a very aggressive person, and the mode of ignorance is like lazy and dull person, right? So Krishna is talking about, he's giving an analysis here. A person who is in ignorant, that is, doesn't have the knowledge, about these modes, he'll get entangled because he'll be propelled by these three modes, and he become attached to these material things in this universe, all the attractive, fancy things of this universe. Right? And again, Krishna is again saying the same point that a wise, a knowledgeable person who is having the knowledge of spirituality or Bhagavad Gita should not disturb them, let them do, and also give them the proper knowledge, and they'll slowly elevate. Okay, so we'll do this analysis from 25 to 29, what Krishna is saying here. So Krishna is talking about different aspects. Okay, so one aspect is desire. What a person is not having the knowledge of spirituality, and that is the lowest stage. In the highest stage, a person who has knowledge of spirituality or who is at the self-realized soul, what they desire. So what are their desires? Krishna is going to give a strong message here. We need to have a strong heart to take it. So what they desire? A materialistic person who wants to enjoy life. So what kind of desires he has? He always looks for enjoying through senses and trying to make all the plans for own personal sense gratification. Okay, I plan for a vacation, I want to enjoy. because he desires whatever he looks at, he desires. I wish I want it. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want to go to this vacations place. I want to have this precious, what's that, expensive car in my life. Whatever he sees, he desires for what? For own personal enjoyment. And that is how he gets attached to the things. This is the thing. He gets attached to, today I have this, tomorrow I want more, day after tomorrow I want more and more, never satisfaction, never satisfied. This mind and this mind or senses, they always pull us towards those things, material things. That's the nature, that is the truth in this world. So if you ask a person who is living a life like this, right, always hankering, let's go and ask that person, hey, are you happy? He says, yeah, I'm happy. I have everything. But is he really happy? No, if a person is planning for a vacation to Vegas, right? So he wants to enjoy there. He goes and comes back. I mean, his desire is fulfilled. But if you ask this question, are you happy? Yes. Are you really happy? No. I want to spend more time there. I wish I spend more time there. Like his desire is he's still not satisfied. He wants more and more and more. Right? That is how this material nature entangles us. Right? There is no satisfaction in anything. There is no satisfaction in anything material, right? If a person buys a nice car, right? Nice car, 100,000 car, right? No, he's happy. But when he looks at a car which is costlier than that, expensive than that, he desires for that. I wish I had that expensive car in my life. His happiness lasted only for certain time, only for certain period of time, until the time he has not seen that another expensive car. Now that he has seen that other expensive car, his happiness is no more. He was happy with this car, but looking at that, he's not happy anymore. Right? He always strives for, does all kinds of things. The righteous way or unrighteous way, right way or wrong way, dharmic way, adharmic way. He does whatever it takes to fulfill his desire. And it's a never-ending thing. That's what Krishna is saying. It's like a burning fire. How much oil you pour, more it burns. So what? That's the problem, right? So that's how we get attached to the things. So what is the solution? Krishna says, now when we take up spirituality, right? If our desire is for the pleasure of the Lord, right? So I accept this. I still have the car. I'm not saying no need to have the car. We still have the car, but we accept it for the pleasure of the Lord, not for our own pleasure. That's how we are shifting our consciousness, from personal enjoyment to the enjoyment of Krishna, right? So like material to spiritual is shift of consciousness. We can still have everything, just a shift of consciousness. That way we don't get attached. We'll remain content and happy. And conviction, a person who is like materially inclined, he always looks for, he thinks that he is a doer. I am the doer. Everything is happening because of me. And he becomes proud. And there is a fall down, and he creates problem to himself and others. Right? And a person at the other side was knowledge, a gnani, a knowledge, a yogi, who is a practitioner of spirituality. He knows very well, but he is not the only doer. There are other doers too. Other doers are the modes of material nature, the Prakriti, and also the God. Nothing can happen without the sanction or presence of the Lord, right, or influence of the Lord. So he attributes it to the Supreme Lord, and he thinks, and he remains humble. That's how one remains humble, right? Doesn't think like, oh, I'm the one who achieved it, right? And activity, all the action he does for own self-satisfaction. A gnani, a yogi, he also does the work, but for the pleasure of Krishna. It's selfless work. So that way he remained detached. So we see this pattern in many of these slokas, like until 5th, 6th chapter. Krishna is going to talk about various aspects to give us clear understanding, right? How we get attached to this material world, how we, entrap ourselves into this material world and go into this repeated cycle of birth and death. So why we take birth again when we die? Unfulfilled desire. Simple. We have some unfulfilled desires to attain something, to enjoy something, will be given a body again. Desires are fulfilled, but still we strive more and more. That's how again we go through this, go to the kindergarten, attain the stage, 80, 90, we die, again repeat, right? So it's because of unfulfilled desires. So that is the reason Krishna is saying, shift your consciousness towards me, or for me, with proper consciousness, live a selfless life. You can break the cycle of birth and death. So result, right? So because of this person working with attachment is always anxious, right? Thinks he always wants these things to happen in his favor, right? And the yogi is always remain undisturbed. He knows everything is happening because of Krishna's plan, God's plan, right? Interaction, right? Interacting with others. So this bogey or ignorant person or attached person or materialistic person, because he thinks himself the doer, he wants to enjoy. He utilizes other people also for his own enjoyment. Right? I want to go to a vacation. I invite everybody to join me because I want to enjoy. Right? So these are the things. But for a spiritualistic person, a self-realized soul, he remains. He doesn't disturb the people who are inclined towards any enjoyments. He doesn't disturb. He remains undisturbed, and also he encourages them in the path of spirituality, or he inspires them by example. So these are the set of things Krishna spoke about in 25 to 29. Okay, so we'll continue for 30. So in this verse, Krishna says, do your duty depending on me. So that is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, the purpose of Bhagavad Gita spoken by Krishna. Right? Krishna wants Arjuna to fight with proper consciousness. That is depending on me with proper consciousness, with the consciousness of the Lord. So whatever is Krishna saying here, this is what Krishna wants Arjuna to do. That is the purpose Krishna spoke this Bhagavad Gita. So what is that? Art of working. Art of working. So we'll go into this. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirasir nirmamo bhutva yuddhasva vigata juraha. Offer all your activities unto me with full knowledge and dependence on me, without personal desires, without a sense of proprietorship, and free from lethargy. Fight. So Krishna is talking about here the art of working, how one should work. So in our previous verses, I gave these details only, like, one should work for the pleasure of the Lord, offering the results to the Lord, success or failure. Where is that coming from? These words only. Right? So in different set of verses, Krishna spoke this, and we have looked at it before itself. So it appears that, it's a repetitive, but more we hear, like it sticks with us. So art of working, right? So anything in this world, there is art, right? There is art of living. There is art of eating. We eat food. We eat food every day. What's special about art of eating? What is that art of eating? I mean, just eating, we take the food and put it in our mouth and chew it and swallow it. So, but if you go into the finer details of it, there is a lot to it, In our scriptures, there are more details are given, like how one should eat the food. I'll give those details. It's very pertinent in our life because we eat every day, right? So some people have the habit of we finishing the food in how many, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. In our temple also, we sit together with many people. Some people like before we all take the food and sit on the table, and we put 1 or 2 spoons, 3 spoons, and other guy finishes and he goes and cleans his plate, right? Throws his plate and does hand wash. He's eating so fast. I mean, there's nothing wrong in eating so fast. Anyone can eat however they want, right? So, but there is a reason, like, one has to eat slowly. So that is like for proper digestion. For proper digestion, the food has to be cooked properly. That is the first thing. And when you put the food in your mouth, the food has to be chewed correctly in certain times. And before we swallow, what is the state of the food? It has to be liquid. It has to be like water. So that's why people say you eat hard food like water, right? And liquid, chew the liquid, right? So if you're drinking water, it is said that we have to bite and chew the water. And if you're drinking the hard food, it has to be, sorry, I'm not confusing you. Make sure. If you eat any solid food, that has to be in the liquid state. That helps in our digestion. So that's the art of eating, right? One has to eat and not to drink too much water while eating. So if you drink too much water while eating, so it dilutes our digestive system, right? So the bile, it gets diluted, then it takes long time to digest your food, right? So it is said that one has to eat with proper, that's the art of eating. One has to eat with proper consciousness in a right way. That's art of eating, right? So Krishna is talking about art of working, right? One has to work with proper consciousness. What is the proper consciousness? So this is what it is saying. So just like art of eating, it is not just an eating, but eating with proper consciousness, having proper knowledge, right? So same thing, art of working is also not just working, but working with proper consciousness and proper knowledge. Okay? So what is that? Offering all your activities unto me. So Krishna is saying, anything you do, you offer it to me. You work for me. Right? We are playing tennis, that is also work. We are eating, that is also work. Right? Anything we do, anything is an action. All karmas only. Right? We are working to earn money. Right? So any activities we do, it's all work. So he's saying, offer all your works, activities unto me. Right? We work, we get a result. The result could be success or failure. Krishna is saying, you offer it to me. Either it is success or failure, just offer it to me and have with full knowledge and dependence on me. This is step 2. Right? Offer your results unto me with full proper knowledge and dependence on. I'm doing this for the pleasure of Krishna. That's what is Krishna saying here. All right. So that way one would not get entangled in any karmic activities. So this first section, second section, Krishna is saying, Nirasir Nirmamo Bhutva, without personal desires, without ahankar. Don't think you are the doer. Don't think you are the only doer. There are other doers too. So we looked at it in our previous session. And without sense of proprietorship, mamakar, ahankar and mamakar, right? That's what is Krishna saying. No, don't be proud of your activities, right? And also don't enjoy the results for your own self. Right? I'm playing the tennis game and I won the game. So I should not be proud of my achievement, and I should not think like, I want to enjoy this again and again, right? So, or I should not think like I'll win all the time, right? So attachment to the success, right? So that's how you work without any personal motive and without any personal enjoyment, and with proper consciousness, offer the result, success or failure. That's how you do your duty. Yuddhasya vigatasvara jvara. Jvara means like fever, right? So when we are working with expectation of a result, there is always an anxiety. Right? So if you're playing game, we think that that we have to win. That means we are working with expectation of a result. Then there is always an anxiety. Will I win or not? We don't focus on the work. We start, we'll be anxious about the result. Right? That is Vigita Jora, right? That's a mental anxiety. So why that comes? Because of lack of knowledge, right? So Krishna is saying, don't work in the mode of ignorance, not with mental anxiety. Don't worry about it, right? And don't hanker for results. Don't hanker for results to come in your favor. Free of egoism, don't be egoistic, and do your duty in the mode of goodness. Having good knowledge about God, offer the result to the Lord, and have full faith in the Lord. Okay, I'm doing this for the pleasure of the Lord, and I'm not gonna get attached to the Lord, success or failure. I'll offer the result to the Lord. This is a message. What work, anything we do. So Krishna is talking about all these things so that we'll develop detachment towards material thing and attach towards spirituality. That is the essence. Okay, life lesson. Duties must be carried out with dependence on Krishna. That is the path to perfection. So here we'll see 31 and 32. Maybe I'll ask Arun Prabhu, you want to read these two?
Yes, Prabhu. Those persons who execute their duties according to my injunctions and who follow this teaching faithfully without envy become free from the bondage of fruitive activities. But those who, out of envy, disregard these teachings and do not follow them regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled, and ruined in their endeavors for perfection.
Thank you, Prabhu. So in these two verses, Krishna is saying the results of following the teachings of Krishna, what will happen? And the result of disregarding the teachings of Krishna. Basically, Krishna is talking about Bhagavad Gita. Right? What are the teachings of Krishna? Bhagavad Gita. What Krishna has spoken thus far about Karma Yoga and giving analysis between Karma Yoga and Gnana Yoga. Krishna wants Arjuna to fight like a Karma Yogi. Right? If Arjuna disregards, Krishna is saying, if disregards the instructions, then you'll be befooled, ruined, all your endeavors. Now you attain no perfection in this world and you become karma bandhana, right? So when you follow the instructions of Krishna, live in this world like a karma yogi or like a yogi, taking a bhakti yoga or anything, whatever the message of Krishna he has spoken, right? It is a message to Arjuna, but it is also a message to us. When we follow these instructions of Krishna, then we'll be free from this karma bandhana, like karma bandhana, this is Sanskrit word, become free from this bondage of fruitive actions, right? Karma bandhana. If there is no karma bandhana, that means there is no new karma. We are not generating any new karma. That means like our karmas are reducing, right? So we are on the path, we are on the right path. We are on the right path to attain spiritual world. So our goal of life, Krishna is saying to attain the Supreme Lord and break the cycle of birth and death. That can be possible only when we don't have any karma bondage or karma balance. If we are accumulating more and more karmas, then we'll be bound by these karmic reactions. So in this set of verses, Krishna is talking about three qualifications one must have. Three things. Okay? Three things. One is follow the teachings of Krishna. Follow the teachings of Krishna. How to follow? With faith, with good faith, and without envy. Without envy. Three things. Following the teachings of Krishna with faith and without envy. Then one can break the cycle of birth and death and attain the spiritual world. It doesn't accumulate any new karma. So let's analyze one by one, following the teachings of Krishna. So Krishna in this entire Bhagavad Gita spoke about various things, right? How to live a life, what is the right way to work, what is the right way or right type of food to eat, that comes in later chapters. The sattvic food, Krishna talks about sattvic food. You eat the sattvic food and you offer it to me. Eat the karma free food. So various things Krishna spoke about. One may say, God, why are you creating so much thing in my life? I'm happy, whatever I am. One may say, right? If you're talking to a new person about all these things, you may like, this is too much for me. I can't do this, right? So why we may question like, God, why you created this world? Why you complicated so much? Can't I be happy living the life in my own way? So just to answer that, there are rules and regulations everywhere. There are injunctions everywhere, rules and regulations everywhere. If you go to a country, if I come to this US, right? So there are some rules. There is a law, right? There is a traffic law, immigration law, or any law, any kind of law. So there's so many laws, so many rules and regulations. Why? Why government has to do that? Because to maintain the law and order, to do welfare for all the citizens, right? So that law and order by which it creates a harmony between the government, people, and everybody. Right? If everyone follows the rules and regulations, the traffic rules, right? If everyone is following the rules and regulations, no problem. Even though there are so many rules, people don't follow. That's a different problem, right? So there is a sign 30, we go 70. People go. There are people who do not follow, right? Who do not follow the instructions. The point here is like there are rules everywhere. If you go to an IT company, if I want to work in an IT company, there are rules. I need to abide to the rules. There are some security rules, right? If you go to some school, right? School also has various rules that students have to come on time, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. There's timings in the school also, right? But there are timings for education also. One has to study this time, or they also put some papers, all those things. So these are there everywhere. Everywhere. It's not new, right? But similarly, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, whatever the Krishna is saying, the rules and regulations, the way of life, this is for us only. If you abide to the teachings and follow the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, then one can attain the stage of moksha. Moksha is a stage is when one goes to the spiritual world, it doesn't come back and go into this repeated cycle of birth and death. One has to follow the teachings of Krishna. That's the reason. But how? With full faith. With full faith. Krishna is saying you must follow with full faith. What is faith? Faith is complete trust. The definition of faith is complete trust in someone or something. Complete trust in someone or something. So if I'm driving on a road, if I'm driving on a highway, right? So my car broke, I had a problem. Not in a highway, but after exit. In a normal road I'm driving, there is a problem. My car stopped. And one person looks at it and he comes to me and says like, okay, I can fix it. Right? Can we trust that person? Can I give like, okay, do whatever you want? No, he could mess up the whole car. Right? So when do we trust that person that this person will really help me fixing my car? When we gain knowledge, we ask like, hey, did you do this before? Did you fix any car? Do you have this knowledge about the car? If the person says, yes, I have the knowledge, I'm a mechanic, I work in this store, that's my duty. That when we gain that knowledge, then we'll trust him. When we trust him, right? So we'll build faith in him. Then we'll give the car to him. Okay, you do it. So the message here is to follow the instructions of Krishna. We need to have good faith in the Lord. How do we build the faith? By gaining knowledge. How do we gain knowledge? Regularly attend the classes. Regularly attend the classes and understanding Bhagavad Gita. What is the message of Bhagavad Gita? Hearing again and again, again and again. The whole purpose of, I mean, Krishna could speak the entire Bhagavad Gita in 1 hour or like in 10 verses, but he gave this elaborate, elaborate message in elaborate chapters, like 18 chapters. So it's quite a big, right? So the reason is like slowly he's increasing our faith. No, we need to know like who we are. We are not this body, we are soul. Right? Next, he goes into the further level, Karma Yoga, Gnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. In the second half of Bhagavad Gita, he talks about Bhakti Yoga only. Right? Everything about him, how to attain the Supreme Lord. Right? So the reason, the point here is, I want to emphasize this point, that when we gain knowledge about the Lord, when we gain the knowledge about the Lord, we develop faith in the Lord, and we love the Lord, Supreme Lord, and we'll have full trust. Okay, God is gonna protect me. God is gonna take me back to the spiritual world. That's what Krishna is saying. You follow my teachings with good faith. How do we build the faith? With knowledge. Okay? If you don't have knowledge, there's no faith. There's no faith. We don't even follow anything, any teachings. Okay, Krishna puts that as second point. Krishna adds the third point, without envy. Without envy. This is very, very important. What is envy? What is envy? Why am I envious of someone? So let's understand what is envy. Envy is something, let's say, that's also a natural emotion which comes from our heart, right? If someone has something which I don't have, right? If someone buys a nice phone, right? iPhone 20 or whatever, the latest phone gadget, right? I look at it and I get a sense of envy that, hey, he has this wonderful thing. I wish I had it. If a person comes and gets down in this wonderful car, big car, then I look at it and I become envious of that thing, right? I wish I had it. I don't have it, but I look at other person, I become envious of the person. This person is so great, maybe he's a lucky person. God has given everything to him, why not me? So that kind of envious nature we run into. So Krishna is talking about that envy, but why would be envious of God, right? When envious of material things or material person is fine, but why Krishna is saying envious of God? Why would we be envious of God, right? So the message here is like, yes, when we think we are God, that's a problem. I am the boss of my life. There is no divine reality. There is no God who is helping me or controlling me. We think we are the God. That's why we disregard the God. I don't care about the God. Who is God? I am God. Right? What Krishna has given Bhagavad Gita, okay, I have my own Gita. So that's how people become envious of the Lord. So in our scriptures, there are many people. Ravana in Ramayana, Ravana was very much envious of the Lord. He thought himself to be the God. Hiranyakashipu, he thought himself to be the God. He disregarded the teaching, he disregarded everything. Right? So these are the demonic natures. Krishna talks about in 16th chapter. We'll go in detail. What are those demonic natures? How a person lives like a demon. Right? Anyway, so these are the things. One should follow the teachings of Krishna with good faith that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and the message of Krishna is for me, for my own benefit. And by me following the teachings of Krishna, I'll be benefited, and the benefit is I'll attain the Supreme Lord. Right? And the condition is without envy, not to be envious of Krishna. Right? Envy, just blindly follow. The point is just blindly follow what Krishna is saying. Right? Don't create our own Bhagavad Gita. don't think like we are gods. So that is it. So there is a short story about faith. I'll quickly finish. I think we covered most of it. The essence there. So this person, he has a habit of picking the rocks. Wherever he is to go, he looks at the rocks and he tries to learn what rock is, right? So one day on his way, he found a rock. And he looked at the rock. He thought like, it doesn't look like a precious thing. I don't know what this will do to me, how this will help me. But he started polishing, like, cleaning up the rock, and rock is shining a little bit. There is a little bit shine there. Then he took the rock to a person, to his friend, and he showed the rock. His friend said, "Oh, this rock doesn't look like a normal rock. No, this must be special. It's not an ordinary rock. Man, you can sell it. You can make money out of it. You can sell it, and it's worth $200. It's worth $200." When he heard that his friend said that it is a expensive product, it's expensive thing, it is worth $200, his faith developed. His faith developed, and he started polishing, and he realized like, okay, maybe let me go and talk to other person. So he went and talked to other person, the person who does this diamond business, right? He went there. I mean, the people who takes care of diamond polishing stuff. So he goes there and he gives this rock to them, and that person says, "Hey, you have an expensive product. You have an expensive item here, right? It's not just worth 200. It costs, it can give you $20,000. It is worth $20,000. It's not a normal stone. It is worth $20,000." When this person heard this is like worth $20,000, he started loving it. Wow, this could change my life. This could change my life. Right? So he's looking at it every time, and he's always thinking about it, and he's always meditating on it, and he's so happy. And again, he doubted, really, okay, let me go to other person. And he went to other person. The other person said, okay, this is an expensive item. It is worth $200,000. $200,000. He got literally fainted. Literally fainted. Wow, what an item I found on the road. He got so much, then he developed so much attachment. He doesn't want to sell it, but he developed so much attachment towards this stone. So initially it was just a piece of stone. So this is the essence. Initially it was a piece of stone, right? He was same, the stone was same, but he started gaining knowledge about the stone. Right? So initially, what is the knowledge he gained first? The first knowledge is the stone is not an ordinary stone. It is a expensive item. Right? So then he went and gained knowledge that it is worth some money. And he gained more knowledge that it is worth more money. Right? So more he gaining knowledge is building the faith. So again, the message is, the essence of this story is, the more we gain knowledge, we develop faith towards anything. So Tulsidas, one of the saintly person, is very much devoted to Lord Ram. He says, if you do not know about the God, you cannot have faith in him. And if you do not have faith in him, you cannot have love for him. There's a negative here, we see in a positive way. If you gain knowledge, if you want to know about the Lord, if you want to know about the Lord, we need to have faith in the Lord, right? Right. So when we get faith in the Lord, we develop love towards the Lord. It is love towards instructions of the Lord, and also love towards the Lord. Okay, in one line, what it is said, right? So one has to follow the instructions of the Lord with full faith. That faith can be built by gaining full knowledge. So these are the insights on this verse, what Krishna is saying. So Arjuna, you can be free from this repeated cycle of birth and death. prerequisite is you have to have full faith. Don't be envious. If you are envious, you will not gain any knowledge, and there is no chance for your liberation. So, life lesson: one must inculcate the attitude of faith and free from envy for spiritual advancement. Studying scriptures is another one. Studying scriptures like Bhagavad Gita without faith or under those who are envious of Krishna has no benefit. It's a very important thing. So sometimes we think like, okay, I can study myself, right? But we don't have faith yet on the Supreme Lord. We don't have full knowledge about the Supreme Lord. So, I mean, one can study themselves, but without proper faith, they may not continue. They may not know the glories of the Lord, and they may not know everything about the Lord. Right? They may drop anytime in between, right? And one has to learn from an instructor who is not envious of the Supreme Lord. Right? If he's envious of the Supreme Lord, the message is totally different. Okay. So 33, deep-rooted conditioned nature. I'll read this. Sadrisham chestate svasyaha prakritir gnanamamapi prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Translation: even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature, for everyone follows the nature he has acquired from the three modes. What can repression accomplish? So the message what Krishna is saying to Arjuna is, by nature, Arjuna, you are a Kshatriya, you are a warrior. You're a warrior, you're a Kshatriya. So what you do? You fight. Right? So you're propelled. Kshatriyas are the people who have this great passion, mode of passion, high passionate levels, right? Like a soldier on the battlefield, super high passionate levels, right? That is very much needed. That's good. Right? That's needed. There is nothing wrong in that. So they have this propensity to engage in fighting for the welfare of society, not fighting for disturbance, to create disturbance. No, that's not the message here. The fighting here in case of Arjuna is a soldier on the battlefield, like a police officer. So his duty is to engage in those activities, right? So the message is, Arjuna, if you reject your work, go to forest. In the forest also you fight. In the forest also, you use your bow and arrow, because that is your nature. That is your nature. So what is the help of, what is the use of repressing, forcefully restricting yourself? It doesn't help. You better follow karma yoga only. That is the essence of this verse. So we'll analyze a little bit. So what Krishna is saying, how it applies to us. So we all work, right? I mean, we all work according to our nature. So if I have a job, because I'm doing this job because it suits my nature. I'm in the IT field, right? I can't take up the role like a doctor, right? No, because it doesn't suit my nature. I don't like looking at the blood. It doesn't suit my nature. It doesn't suit my nature. So for me, this is good, which fits my nature. That's what Krishna is saying. No, you take a profession which suits your nature. You don't take profession which doesn't suit your nature. In case of Arjuna, he want to take a profession of a Gnana Yogi, renunciate. It doesn't suit his nature. Like Arjuna Krishna is saying, pick a profession which suits your nature. Right? We also take a profession because that suits our nature. Whatever the job we do, we all know what jobs we do. So because that suits our nature, we like it, we do it. So if you take different children, right, of same ages, right, 6-year-old, like 5 children of 6-year-old, everybody has their own nature. One person likes something, one person dislikes something. Everyone's likes and dislikes are different. Where are those coming from? Past life impressions. Past life impressions. People have some these kind of impressions from the past life. A person, he is expert, like 5 years old, he's expert at chess or some sport activities. How is that? I mean, it's not that he learned it in 2-3 years. He had expertise from the previous life. That's how he gained expertise. He can able to quickly excel in his endeavor. Because that suits his nature. So okay. 7:31. Maybe I'll stop here. So should we continue or stop? I have 2 more verses, but yeah, I think this we need to go a little deeper. Okay, I'll stop here. Sorry, Krishna. Please feel free to share your thoughts and realizations. Thank you very much.